welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the brand Lai D. I do have 12 polishes to share with you today, 6 of which are from their summer 2018 collection and 6 of which are from their Nude Beginnings collection, which both released June 7th, so depending on when I get this video up, they might already be available. In the description box below, I will link the Lai D site as well as their Instagram page, and I will link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything in both of these collections. So there's just no way I can hold up 12 polishes at once, but we have 6 summer 2018 polishes to share with you, as well as the 6 Nude Beginnings shades. So 12 polishes, let's go ahead and get started. Up first we have Avery, and this is a light pink. It's like a ballet slipper shade pink, and it is a cream. So here is Avery. This one had a good formula. It was a little bit on the thicker side, but it stayed right where you put it. Very easy to work with. It is pretty patchy here on this first coat, and the second coat is still going to be a little bit patchy, so it is going to have to be built up with 3 coats. That is kind of the nature of these lighter polishes in general. These do dry very fast and very glossy, and if you want it to be completely streak free here, you will want to work in a little bit thicker coats. So there is 3 coats. Up next we have Christy, and this is a bright Barbie pink cream. Here is our first coat of Christine. This goes on really nice and opaque. It is just a little bit patchy on this first coat, so I am going to go ahead and build it up with a second coat. This does cover completely in 2 coats for me, and once again it does dry very fast and very glossy on its own, but if you want it to last, you will want a nice glossy top coat. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Chloe, and this is like a butternut squash orangey yellow, and it does have a strong silver shimmer. Here's our first coat of Chloe. This one has that same easy to work with formula, not too thick, not too thin, just a little bit sheer and patchy here on this first coat. It does build up nicely here with 2 coats. I was having just a little bit of issues still with streaking though, so I am going to go ahead and show you what a 3rd coat looks like, but depending on your application and your preference, 2 might be just fine with you. This one again dries fast and dries glossy, and I didn't have any skin or nail staining with this one. So there is 3 coats. Up next we have April, and this is a seafoam green cream. Here's our first coat of April. This goes on pretty sheer. It is a jelly polish, so it's something that's gonna have to be built up, and I had a fuzzy here. I'm so sorry if that grosses you out, but I did get it out. This builds up nicely here with 2 coats, but it is still just a little bit patchy, so I am going to go ahead and show you what a 3rd coat looks like, but if you go in for a thick enough second coat, you could probably get this just fine in 2. But it did cover here completely in 3 for me. Again, it dries fast and glossy on its own, but if you want it to last, you'll want a nice glossy top coat, so there is 3 coats. Next up we have Lena, and this is another green, but it's more of like a grassy green. I will show it next to April just so you guys can see the difference. So here's our first coat of Lena, and just like the last polish, this is a jelly polish, so it is going to have to be built up, but it does go on nice and evenly. This one did build up for me in just 2 coats. If you are super picky and going for thinner coats, you may need to go in for a 3rd coat. So there is 2 coats. And lastly, for the summer collection, we have Lacey, and this is a cornflower blue cream. Here's our first coat of Lacey, and this one goes on nicely. Pretty opaque here on this first coat. I did just have a couple issues with patchiness, but it is going to build up really nicely in just 2 coats. I also didn't have any staining with this one. These kind of colors do tend to stain. I don't stain very easily, so just bear that in mind and go ahead and use a base coat. This one also dries fast and glossy on its own, so there is 2 coats. Moving on to the Nude Beginnings collection, we have Robin, and this is like a putty shade with a strong silver shimmer. So here's our first coat of Robin. And this one also has a really nice formula, no running or pulling. It is a little bit on the thicker side, but it is very easy to work with. It is still just a little bit patchy here on 2 coats. Again, the nature of those lighter polishes, so I am going to go ahead and show you what a 3rd coat looks like. But even for being such a nice light shade, the shimmer in this stands out really, really nicely. It is completely opaque in 2 coats. You will want a nice glossy top coat to help that shimmer stand out and to keep your manicure lasting long. So there is 3 coats. We have Leah, and this is another putty shade, but this one does have a black micro glitter. Now the micro glitter in here is sticking strangely to the bottle, but it does come out evenly. It doesn't clump up like that on the nail. And I did want to go ahead and show it next to Robin just as far as a shade comparison goes. So Robin is a little bit more yellow and Leah is a little bit more gray. So here's our first coat of Leah. And this is really opaque here on this first coat. I am going to go ahead and build it up with a second coat though to get it completely streak free and even, and to add a ton more of these little glitters. This isn't going to dry textured, and it actually wasn't difficult to remove at all either. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Naomi, and this is a mauve taupe cream. Here's our first coat of Naomi. This has a good formula, no running or pulling or staining or anything like that. And it does cover completely here on the second coat. Once again, per the usual of Lai D, it dries fast and glossy on its own. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Elle, and this is a pinky mauve with a strong silver shimmer. Here's our first coat of Elle. And this one also goes on really nicely and pretty opaque here on this first coat. You will want to build it up with a second coat. And again, for being such a nice light shade, the shimmer in this stands out really, really nicely. This one also dries fast and it dries glossy on its own, though you will want a nice glossy top coat to finish this off. It'll help that shimmer stand out and it'll keep your manicure lasting longer. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Imani, and this is a deeper chocolate brown cream. Here's our first coat of Imani, and this one was much thinner, like noticeably thinner than the rest of the collection or rest of the polishes from today. It wasn't difficult to work with. I didn't have any running or pulling, but if you did a thick enough coat, you might have that issue. It is completely opaque here in 2 coats, though I did go in for a thicker second coat, so depending on your application here, you may need to go in for a 3rd. So there is 2 coats. And lastly for today we have Tosh, and this is a deep oxblood red cream. Here's our first coat of Tosh, and this one is more of like a crelly base. It's not quite a cream, but it's not exactly a jelly either. It's nice and squishy, and it definitely just reminds me of blood. It's very easy to use, easy to work with. You will want to build it up with 3 coats though, just to get that nice squishy feel. This is also such a deep red that in certain lightings it will look black, which I thoroughly enjoy in a polish. This one will also dry fast and glossy, and I had no staining, so there is 3 coats. So from the summer 2018 collection, Lacey is my favorite. I think this is pretty comparable to Sally Hansen's original Pacific Blue. I don't have it anymore. I had it at one point, and from my memory, this is pretty much dead on. Now correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. But I feel like this is the closest that I've seen in shade. And then from the Nude Beginnings collection, Leah is my favorite. I love that subtle black glitter that you get with this. It's got a beautiful formula. I really, really love this. So Lacey and Leah are my favorites. And that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of these collections. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up from them. Let me know what your favorite was from each collection. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.